drinking in social settings makes everything easier. But here's where you have the upper hand. When you get through that wall of anxiety and you're out chilling, you look cooler than everybody. And everybody will say it. They go, wow, you're that much sober? Or you're sober and you're like, you know, you see all of us drinking? Like, you don't look weird. If you can just not look weird, and if you're actually just being yourself while not drinking, you have an edge on everybody. What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for everybody who listened to my previous car podcast about being sober for 100 days. Still sober, no relapse, not yet. Good. Or you're gonna try to cut me off later. Wow, that's cute. So let's talk about that. So I talked about my 100 days. I talked about the perceptions of what we believe to be the social norm of drinking. So the thing I think that's established from that podcast was that people feel the same thing, that they are pressured into drinking. And once you get on that roll of drinking when you're out, habitually, whether you like it or not, no matter how smart you are, you get stuck in a loop of doing it. So I don't think anybody is above being stuck in that loop. So what I guess I don't really have much, I don't know where I'm going with this. I just want to kind of explain it and discuss it because I just found it so interesting that people are struggling silently and they might not even know it. And I did too. And I don't put myself in I'm a recovering, I didn't exactly have a problem per se. Never got a DUI. I haven't, I didn't sabotage relationships. There are people who are on much worse spectrums. So let me say right now, for me, it was much easier to quit. When it's hard to quit is when you associate alcohol or any sort of drug with your daily routines. Get off work, I gotta have a beer. I'm gonna go out. Let me drink before I go out. I would do that when I need to save money. I'm gonna have a few beers before I went out, so I didn't buy as much. And it's all toxic. It's all toxic because then it makes you drink, and it all turns into it makes you form more of a habit. The more you associate it with certain things in life, the things you're going to deal with regardless, the more you're going to, the harder it is to get off. So, I think you need to know your triggers. And the thing I want to say about anything is you should be able to take a break. I like alcohol. I am going to drink again. But what's going to make going back to it so much better is that I'm going to know I can take a break whenever. That's the power of self-control. What makes everything feel so good is self-control. When you can just go, you know what? I have fucking killed it this week. I'm gonna have a beer. Not just because it's Tuesday and I need to get by. That's when using anything is going to hurt you. You need to realize why am I doing this? Why am I doing anything? Like, video games is a drug. Why am I playing this video game? I'll play a video game because, you know what, man? I killed this week. I'm going to lounge out. I'm going to relax because I deserve to. Right? So, you need to learn to just control your habits and know why you're doing it. For people who need to stay sober, who are recovering addicts, I don't know if I should even speak on that, because I'm not one. But you need to acknowledge why you want it. I'm not gonna lie, the past 2 weeks have probably been the hardest for me because I met my goal. So now I don't have much of a finish line. I got to the finish line technically, but now I don't have another stepping stone to get to. I'm in this vague area of, well, once my life gets better, I'll drink again. But I guess as stresses come through, the urge to drink is, I guess, is getting through my line of defense. When I had a specific goal, I was like, there is nothing that's going to stop me from getting there. But now that I don't, I am, there's parts of my God, I want to drink. I don't know. Maybe the right situation, I would have. But it's not easy. It's not easy. Now it's not easy. I did that 100 days, but now it's a little bit rocky. I think with the right bad news, with the right circumstances where things are going bad, and I feel like I need to cope by numbing myself, I could fall into it. But luckily, I have enough habits that can distract me. Again, habits. If you sit around all day, if you sit around and you're kind of just sitting there, waiting, wishing, you're going to fall back into it. It's tough. What's tough is where, man, I mean, I already say it in a few of my jokes, but when you're trying to date, it's nearly impossible. It is nearly impossible to want to go out on a date knowing your date drinks and still stick with it and go, I have to break it to him that I don't drink. And it always takes a little bit of a toll. If they drink, you're just like, okay, like, hey, if you're cool with this, if you unmatch me, if you ghost me, I'm gonna have to cope with it. That's the thing that that never gets easy. It doesn't matter. I don't think even, people of Navy SEAL level discipline are beyond that type of anxiety, because it's just dude, drinking in social settings makes everything easier. But here's where you have the upper hand. When you get through that wall of anxiety and you're out chilling, you look cooler than everybody. And everybody will say it. They go, "Wow, you're that much sober?" Or you're sober and you're like, you see all of us drinking, like you don't look weird. If you can just not look weird, and if you're actually just being yourself while not drinking, you have an edge on everybody. Because deep down, not everybody wants to be drinking right now. And that's a fact. So far, going out you can tell some people, they look at you like you're a creature from Nat Geo, and they want to pick you apart, going, but how do you get through this? And I never give them a complex answer like I'm going to, but if a really good friend was to ask me, because I do save most of my advice for people who are close in my circle, the perception you have right now while you're drinking, you can never imagine what it's like to be sober at a bar. Even if or when I do decide to drink again, and I think about going sober, I'll go, how did I do that? How was I there? I don't, it's, our bodies are so in tune with the now that once you're in a drunken state, you look back on when you took a break from being sober, or you took a break from drinking, being sober, you'll look back and go, God, I don't know how I did that, because this is the shit, or this is just, kind of overtaking me. Yeah. So that's where your discipline can kick in, and if you've taken a break, you can go, I was there before, and I can get back to it. So, whether or not you want to quit, and the thing I'm trying to constantly put out there is I'm not against drinking. I'm not against drinking. It's so great. I have met so many great people. I have had so many good times. I can't fully hate on it. But what I can say is that it is a deterrent from who you truly are in your best form. Most of the time, if you're drinking 3-4 times a week, every night, whatever, you can probably be better. And if you do feel that feeling, this is your sign to take a break. Take a break and truly see if that is a part of you. You're either the person who can have a glass of whiskey and write and create, or you're like me, where you romantically want that to happen, but every time you do, you get sidetracked and you do unproductive hobbies. So you gotta decide. You gotta decide if that's for you, or if maybe you've been roped into a societal pressure that you look at the commercials where the guy in the Corona and the girl in the dress checks him out, and you think that's how life really is going to work, and it doesn't. But you have to decide. It's up to you. I'm not going to force you to. Of course I can't, because who the fuck am I? But you need to look at yourself and see if it is. Yeah. So that's kind of all I got. Just wanted to throw it out there, say thank you so much to the people who viewed it. It got 900 views. Probably not a lot for most people, but to me that is the most I've gotten so far. So that's really cool. That's really cool. I never thought I never thought in my life that I'd be talking about getting sober and people would be seeking advice from me. I've always been in high school, I was just baked all the time. After that, I was drinking all the time. And again, I would totally be transparent if I was a complete wreck, but not really. As someone who's a stand-up and who's around bars a lot, it didn't ever really affect me too much. It affected me as far as productivity went, but it didn't affect me as far as changing my mood or making me a worse version of myself as far as emotions went. But yeah, it's good to have a change. Good to shake things up. Take a break. Right now it's January, dry January. This is the best time to take a break. Okay? You should. If you're seeing this and oh man, it's January, whatever. We're a third of the way into January. I shouldn't do it. 20 days. Take that little break. Take a break. See what you end up doing, and go from there. Okay? That'd be cool. And you are cool, right? That's right. Well, cool, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you gotten this far, you're fucking awesome. Subscribe if you can. Leave a comment. Let me know how awful of rambling I've done, or whatever. Because it's the internet. You can say what you want. Alright? I'll see you next time.